What's up YouTube, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we have the Tacoma SCX24 on the bench, and in today's video we are going to convert it to the Injora carbon fiber and aluminum rock buggy roll cage. So my main gripe with this iceberg RC body is that the Lexan is pretty flimsy and it just has a lot of overhang, and this was the very first body I ever tried to put together and I did it horribly. So it hasn't been my favorite, but it does have sentimental value because it is a replica of my 1-to-1 that I had when I was a teenager. So we're gonna put that to the side and we are going to swap everything over to this Injora rock buggy chassis. This chassis is carbon fiber and it is aluminum, so it has like the aluminum battery tray, ESC tray and stuff like that. It should be a pretty easy swap over, and you can find it on injorarc.com. I believe it's around 20 bucks. So the first thing I want to do is get all the wheels and everything off of this and organize it, and then we will get to swapping over the conversion kit. So I've already taken off the wheels, and the next step I want to do is just kind of create the framework of this buggy chassis so we can start swapping everything over piece by piece. And so included in the kit, you get the carbon fiber frame and everything, of course, and then you get these little supports. And so these supports go into the holes right here up front, up top, another one in the rear, and then kind of here again, one more there. And they kind of pop in like this, and then with the provided hardware screwed in on either side. And it's a pretty simple self-explanatory swap. I don't think anything too complicated. Included, you get some hardware, as you can see here, and then also there's some nuts that are included. Don't know what those are used for yet, but I'm gonna get to it when we get there. I think those might be for the shocks. And then here we have some aluminum pieces, battery support, ESC, top cover, and this is kind of like a front plate. And so it's a pretty simple swap over. All right, so here I am. I've installed all 6 of these little, they're aluminum supports, and now I'm going to insert these aluminum plates, I guess you would call them. And I'm just going to install them like that. So the one in the battery tray goes to the rear, one the ESC tray goes up front. It's going to install like that, and this top cover goes in, and then we're just going to get the other half and we're going to sandwich everything together like that, and hopefully this won't impact installing all of the transmission and motor and all that stuff, because it should just be able to drop right in. So after about 5 minutes, this is what the chassis looks like completed. The bolts that were included with the kit are 1.5 millimeter, so just keep that in mind. You also might need a different tool than your standard 24 tool. But overall, it looks pretty cool. It has this Injora nameplate right here, so I kind of wanted to flip it over and kind of emphasize that it's Injora. But now we're going to connect the skid plate and remove the frame and the body mounts from here, and I think we should be good. I have most of the stock chassis taken apart, and so I'm now moving it over to the new chassis. And the first thing you want to do is line up the skid plate. So there's 4 little screws right here in the middle, and you just want to line those up, and that'll kind of get you started. Then you can kind of move on from the center outwards and get your links all set up, and you should be ready to roll. So now I have all of the links installed down here at the skid plate, and the next step is to get the shocks to mount to the shock towers right here. So included with the kit there are a bunch of nuts, and I'm assuming these are the perfect size for the stock shocks, so it shouldn't be no issue installing those at all. And then we will start to install the ESC and the battery, and then we'll get the tires on and we'll check this thing out. So here I have the shocks installed on the shock towers. It was really difficult to get these little small nuts to kind of catch onto the screws. So a method I was developing was I would kind of just press my finger on the nut for probably about 5 seconds, and then it'd kind of stick to my finger, and I was able to kind of just press my finger against the inside of the chassis, and then I was able to connect it because I was using these tweezers and it was very difficult to get a grip on them. So that's maybe a method you might want to look into. So now I'm going to install the tires, and then we are going to transfer over the ESC. And so now I have to remove this ESC from this ESC tray that came with the stock chassis. Typically I just get a blade, kind of just go underneath it on all around the corners. It's some double-sided tape, so it's not too difficult to remove, but just having that leverage of a flat edge definitely helps out when trying to remove the double-sided tape. So I would be very careful doing this. You could use a blade or you could use a flat head screwdriver. They do about the same job, but they do use some good double-sided tape on this ESC. And so now I'm just gonna remove the old one, apply some new double-sided tape, and fit it perfectly into the chassis. Okay, so there is the chassis converted. It took me about 45 minutes. I went from the stock SCX24 chassis to this Injora carbon fiber aluminum buggy chassis. It has these carbon fiber outer plates, and then these center pieces are all aluminum. Overall, looks pretty cool. I like the low profile of it. Don't really have anything that's a low CG. It's probably about the low CGs I get. Probably might want to look into the internal shock so I can do the forced droop, make it even lower. But overall, I'm liking it. Surprisingly, I've seen a lot of these online and on the internet, and I never really liked the way they looked because they were always up so high and the center of gravity just looks so weird. But with these extended links from RC Steve, I like the look. The one issue that I was running into with setting everything up is I was unable to put the ESC up front. Maybe it was designed to be in the rear. That would make sense for all the battery weight to be up front and increase the weight up front. So maybe it's designed that way. But I was unable to connect my servo to the ESC, so I need to get a longer one just to get running. But overall, it was super simple. If you know the basics of the SCX24, this will be really easy for you. I can't wait to get a new servo with an extended piece, and I also might need to get an extended wire for the battery as well. Kind of gets kind of crammed in here, but it should be able to be sorted out real soon. It was $19.99 on the Injora website, and it looks pretty darn cool to me. Can't wait to see this thing out on the rocks. So stick along, guys, because I want to start being more active on YouTube again. So yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.